Hey everybody, my name is Chris Cubby Cuberness. I'm the CEO of Cub & Co., a digital agency based in Copenhagen, and this is the first ever CoTalks.
One, two, three, hit me!
Today we're talking about Nike and the latest Nike controversy, the boycott Nike issue that's going on right now on social media. Today with me I've got Emil Clausen, one of our graphic designers.
Hello, what's up?
And we got Andras, Andy, we call him Andy. What's your last name? I can't even say your last name, dude.
Damian. Andres Damian. Yo.
Dude, that is a kick-ass name. You sound like you should be a Bond villain with that last name. So, today we're talking about the Nike controversy. So let's get right into it, guys. Have you guys seen the Nike ad with Colin Kaepernick?
Sure we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your initial thoughts?
I think it's great that they're doing something this socially active and disruptive. But on the other side, it's kind of just like right on the money, right? So
Right.
I think it's a pretty pure marketing move, even though it's great. I must admit, I think it's genius.
So you think it's good? You think it's genius?
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on it, Emil?
I like it mostly because I like how provocative it is.
Provocative, yeah.
Provocative it is, and that's like making a whole new eyes up for Nike and
Mm-hmm.
making people look at Nike again in a bad or a good way.
Right.
And I think it's cool that they are using such a iconic person with all this stuff going on.
Right.
Especially in like the year we're in and all these problems coming up.
Right.
So I think it's a pretty smart move by Nike.
So you're not going to stop buying Nike?
No, I'm definitely not gonna stop.
You haven't posted boycott Nike yet?
No,
Have
man.
you seen people like cutting the shit out of cutting the logo off their clothes and burning their shoes and stuff like that? Have you guys seen any of these videos?
Yeah, I mean, like, I kind of, like, I woke up and I checked out everything on social media. So I did a little bit of social listening, I must admit. But none
Stalking,
of my...
you mean?
Yeah, none of my actual friends did it, though.
No, I don't. But that's also the thing. I mean, okay, we can sit here and we can talk about it, and we probably have a different experience or different opinion on it. Obviously, we're living in Europe. We don't have the same ideologies or same political or same sociological look on it that others do, specifically in the U.S.
Yeah.
It's very polarizing, the whole, kneeling Kaepernick sort of thing. So we have a different perspective. Also, we're probably more right-leaning or left-leaning or whatever the heck that is. I don't understand the left and the right. To be quite honest, I don't understand those ways that people have done that, because I think the right
I think
here,
it's
left-leaning. Like, I think we're probably more liberal.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
three of us. So we have a different. We're not. Actually, I'm more conservative fiscally, but just because I want to keep my money. But in most other things, I'm probably more liberal in my thoughts. But so we have a different perspective. We all think it's a cool move. We're not going to stop buying Nike, right? Like, we can take a vote on it. Are you going to start buying Nike?
No, definitely not.
Are you going to stop buying Nike?
No, I'm a huge fan of Nike.
Yeah,
You're
so
wearing them right now.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing Nike shoes. Yeah.
yeah, I'm a hybrid. I like Nike. I like Adidas. I'm not stuck on one thing. But are you a hardcore Nike fan?
Yeah, I am actually.
So you're all about the Nike? What
Yeah, I
about-
think it's due to like my basketball past.
Yeah, they definitely owned the basketball space.
Yeah, and
for
I
many
just
years.
kind of grew into the whole Nike culture, the Just Do It and Jordan, LeBron, Kobe.
Right.
Everyone I was watching when I was a kid used to wear Nike.
Wasn't Kobe Adidas though?
No, in the beginning of his career, yeah.
In the
but then
beginning.
he had that huge scandal over that cleaning lady, and then they
Adidas dropped them. Dropped
yeah.
him.
And then Nike.
And then Nike's like, we're going to pick
Yeah.
you up. We don't care about cleaning ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cleaning ladies wear Nike. I'm pretty
Maybe.
sure.
I'm not sure.
He was helping out Nike. So, all right. So you guys think it's good. What's been your reaction to the reactions? Do you think it makes sense? Like for me, I was kind of like, come on, people, really? Are we at this point where we're boycotting Nike for this? Like, isn't the whole outrage just too extreme, too much? What is your thoughts on it?
I mean, it's the whole boycott thing is just the same thing that is happening. It already happened with Kaepernick, right? Like when he did the first kneeling and all that, people just started burning his jerseys and like the whole thing is just happening again now, just on like a little bit larger scale because it's against like a global company.
Okay.
But on the other side, it's like then the coin has two sides, right? So on the other side, people just start buying more shoes to even further support Nike, right?
Right.
So it's like,
But some people won't buy them.
yeah,
But in any case, like we're seeing, I think what's interesting about this whole Nike case, and I think all these cases, and I wrote on LinkedIn this morning, or I think I wrote it on Twitter as well, that my next book, I'm not writing a book actually. I just like to lie to people and see what the reaction is. But I said my next book is going to be called Outrage Marketing, and just go into these cases of where outrage marketing has worked and not worked.
you should write that book.
Yeah, like maybe if I don't have any, I don't have any time, guys. But maybe I could hire a ghostwriter or something and take all the credit. But I think like the whole outrage marketing culture, the whole outrage marketing tactics, we're just seeing them work across the board. I mean, Pepsi did this with Kendall Jenner last year.
Oh, that was really lame. That was not outrage marketing though.
But people were pissed about it, right? Like but that was interesting that
it was more cringe than pissed.
But I think what's interesting is like how dividing an audience can actually work in your favor. So for example, with Pepsi, actually, it was what was funny is that, and everybody's going to point fingers at each other and be like, oh man, conservatives, they're so outraged and they're so mad at stuff and they get so boiled up. But then if you look at the Kendall Jenner stuff, that was the left that was freaking out, because then it's like, oh, Pepsi thinks they can just get rid of social justice just by having a Kendall Jenner ad, right? So it's on both sides of the planet, or both sides of the whatever you want to call it, the political sphere, that you have this group getting mad or this group getting mad. Like both are equally stupid in my minds, because it's like, come on, like, can you really? But then I think what's interesting with this is that what he's saying really is believe in something.
Yeah.
Even if it means sacrificing everything.
Brilliant.
Which if you take that line and then you attribute it to everybody that's saying boycott Nike, he's basically telling them to boycott Nike.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because he's saying, like, which is brilliant in this whole mess, is that Nike's basically saying, like, hold on to your beliefs. Sacrifice for those beliefs if you want. And that's what people are doing. So they're literally burning their Nikes because they're like, okay, I believe in something that, you shouldn't kneel for the flag, or you shouldn't like shit on the flag or whatever it is. And they're actually willing to sacrifice everything. I don't know, and then in this case, the sacrificing everything is Nikes, which is kind of interesting if you look at it from that perspective. So, you know what I mean? Like, so I think it's kind of working in their favor on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely take over the whole conversation over this whole social justice thing.
Yeah.
And from now on, it was about Kaepernick for 2 years. And from now on, this conversation is about Nike.
Right.
Yeah.
So they just completely hijack the whole topic.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's true. I actually read an article about this whole thing, which I thought the writer, I forget who wrote it, said something really interesting about how Muhammad Ali was also a controversial character and athlete in his day.
Yeah.
And who wouldn't have loved to snap him up? right? And so we can look at it retrospectively now and be like, okay, that would have been an awesome sponsorship if you
That would have been Nike.
Yeah, Nike, yeah, but that's what I mean. Like that Nike would have been in the same vein of so I mean, history has a way of sort of softening up these characters in the future. So we might be looking at this ad campaign 30 years from now going, yeah, Kaepernick is a hero. Like he was actually standing up for something.
Definitely.
And now he's. So let's see about that. But I mean, like maybe we can talk a little bit about the design of the campaign. What did you think of the design, Emils? Was it? What did you like about the design? What don't you like about the design? I mean, it's pretty standard stuff. I mean, it's not like.
I think it's if we look at the normal portrait of him, like the close up with the black and white, super simple as we just said. But I think it's super good. It's not so much because
It's more about the message.
Exactly, it's more about the message than the actually like content of it. And the funny thing, I was just thinking about it. If you take that exact message, and then let's say you put any other person behind that, then you would have like a whole other thing, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, that's what we just talked about. Like, what you're doing is like, what do you call it? Doing sacrifice for everything, right? The people that's burning it, like, let's say if you take any other person behind that, right?
Mhm.
Then
It's still true.
it's still true, right? It's just because it's this guy who
Yeah. But that's content and context, right? Like
exactly.
putting those two things together. What about the other ads in the campaign? I mean, you've seen there's also the Serena, wasn't it Serena Williams or Venus Williams? Is also in there, and there's also there's a few others. I mean, obviously his has
I can just
been
look them up.
his has been
I'll
the
have to look them up
most.
again.
People have been talking about this the most.
Yeah.
Oh, you can
It
hear
was
my
Serena
keyboard.
Williams, right? I mean, I just think it's a super simple campaign, and it's really about the message. I think it just looks good. I like the black and the white.
Yes.
It's also like, if we look at it from a thematic standpoint, the whole black and white thing also gives it more weight. I think if it was in color, I don't know, like it's also an interesting, if you think about it, black and white versus color.
yeah.
What do you think that would have done to the campaign? Do you think it would have been added something, or like what kind of message does it send when it's in black and white? It
Well-
says sort of like a historical feeling to it almost.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also it's more dramatic.
Yes, it makes it more like this serious message, like
Yeah, it gets more weight, right?
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. It has like a historical, and it has more weight once you do put it in black and white. So I think it's super nice. And I think that what they also have done is they haven't said, which is a message, I think, which is also a thing for other advertisers out there to notice and to be aware of, is that it doesn't say like, we're celebrating our 30th anniversary of the Just Do It campaign or any of that kind of stuff. Like, I think what Nike does so great is that they have one message, and it's simple and it's straightforward and it's executed beautifully. And like, take away all the controversy, take away all that stuff.
Yes.
Like just like looking at it from a communications and branding and advertising standpoint, like it's so simple. They don't have to unpack it. They don't have to talk about, oh, it's our 30th anniversary, so we take this time to celebrate the Just Do It campaign. No, they're just like, they own it.
Yeah.
They're badass about
Yeah.
it. They're just like, we're not here to self-congratulate ourselves. We're here to push forward. We're not here to look back in the past. We're here to look to the future. And I think that's a really bold move for most, like for any kind of company to take notice of and be like, okay, this is how you do anniversary marketing in some way, and this is how you do outrage marketing. And I think that's it's a great case study. I really think it's a great case study.
But do you think like from now on every anniversary and birthday should be about like being proactive in some kind of social or global issue? Because for example on Facebook now it's like super trending that like all people are like, okay, for my 25th birthday I chose to support saving humpback whales, and please donate for this case. And I mean like it's pretty much the same method behind, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we're all in a place now when it comes to. Here's what I think they've done well. I mean, you can see a lot of CSR, like consumer social responsibility, corporate social responsibility
Yeah.
programs that companies do that just fall flat. They're just BS. They're just
Yeah.
like, come on, man. Like, really? I think what Nike's done here is like, it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel like they're trying to show off.
It feels
or like,
very Nike.
it feels very Nike. It feels very much what they would do. And I think that from a CSR standpoint, I think other companies should also be very careful with their CSR stuff these days, that they just don't go out and save the whales to save the whales. Like, I think they need to have a purpose. They need to have
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
behind it that makes sense.
Yeah, very strong purpose.
I mean, Nike's always been about empowerment. That's been their thing since the get-go.
Yeah.
So this feels, like you said,
It's very Nike.
very Nike. So there's no question about it. Other companies, they have to, and people, I mean, you're saying that people use it as, I think it's nice that people support stuff, but
I think it's nice too.
but I think you should, like, it should feel real to you. It should feel something interesting to you in some ways. What do you think about this being politically charged in the U.S. in terms of Trump versus
Wow.
Nike?
I don't know, because like when Kaepernick came out in 2016 with this whole thing, Trump was like, okay, you're like free to leave the country if you don't want to like pay respect to it, right?
Right.
But now I think Trump actually commented in some morning show on this whole thing, and he said like he disagrees and he kind of agrees to some point. I don't have the
Really?
concrete
Let me
quote.
see if I can find that.
I don't have the concrete quote, but he said that if it would have been about like something else, and if he would have been in this situation, he would have done it. So he was like kind of being more diplomatic now than he was in like 2016.
Okay, so he's softening up on it.
Well, he needs to, like I think Afro-American population is like giving the 40% of the United States population. So I think those are like pretty valuable votes for him.
Okay, so you think this is a straight up political vote, like getting some votes move?
Not getting some votes, but I think he knows that he's not going to be like elected again. I mean, at least that's my opinion. But I think it's not
Interesting.
about getting votes. It's about like keeping people together.
Okay, so you think it's politically charged that he's saying that?
Yes.
I can't find the article, or I can't find the
I think I
notice.
found it here.
What does he say?
As much as I disagree with Colin endorsement in another way, I mean I wouldn't have done it. He said, in another way, it is what this country is all about. That you have certain freedoms to do things that other people think you shouldn't do. But I personally am on the different side of it.
Yeah, so he's
Okay.
paying respect to his
Yes.
his free will to speak. Yeah.
What a flip flopper! I
Yeah.
mean, come on. Like, I just gotta say, like, that's BS. Like, come on, dude. You were like so hardcore. You said that NFL coaches should fire anybody who kneels. Like, come on. That's a total change in the tune. I can see people changing. I mean, you gotta let people change. I totally agree with that. But
Or
this,
he just has better
this
PR
seems-
staff.
This seems so yeah, basically. This seems so slimy when people do this, right? But all right. So
But
Trump-
also
Trump-
Kaepernick was like was kicked out of the league kind of. He's suing NFL now for 2 years already
yeah.
for conspiracy, because after this whole scandal, he was kicked out of NFL. Like he was properly, like he became a free agent, and none of
Nobody
the teams
picked
would
him
have
up.
been like willing to sign with him, even though he's like in my terms he's pretty good, right? He led the 49ers to
Yeah.
a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, okay.
Even though they got like they lost in the Super Bowl, but still he managed to
It's
lead
still
them
it's
there.
a big thing.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, no, man. Okay, we got to talk. This is what I'm reading now on CNNMoney.com, which is President Trump criticized Nike's decision to make Colin Kaepernick one of the faces of its 30th anniversary Just Do It campaign. The president told the Daily Caller on Tuesday that Nike should not have chosen to feature the former San Francisco 49ers quarterback. I think he said, quoted, I think it's a terrible message and a message that shouldn't be sent. Trump said of Nike's new campaign, "There's no reason for it."
That's an interesting perspective.
Trump noted that Nike is a tenant of his.
What?
They pay a lot of rent, he said. He did say, you're right. You're right. He did say, as much as I disagree with the Colin Kaepernick endorsement, in another way, I mean, I wouldn't have done it, he said. In another way, it is what this country is all about, that you have certain freedoms to do things that other people think you shouldn't. But I personally am on a different side of it. Interesting.
So he thinks it's sending a terrible message, but on the other side, he kind of respects the whole move.
Yeah. Ish.
Yeah, it's
He
kind of
understands it, but he doesn't think it's a good idea.
Yeah, it's kind of like at one point he's like kind of like shitting on it, and then the other he's like, oh yeah, that's good.
I think it was a brilliant move. I think it's what Nike's needed. I think it's super interesting when companies do this properly. Here's a proper way to do it. The Pepsi Kendall Jenner thing is not the proper way to do it. I think it just falls flat. I think we'll be remembering this Nike ad for many years.
I do believe so.
I think people will come back to this in 20 years from now. They'll be talking about this whole thing in marketing schools and being like, damn,
definitely.
Nike brought it. And it was so simple and so easy. But I can probably I can imagine what it was like in the Nike department, like Nike marketing department, trying to figure this one out. They must have been like getting those gut feelings like,
no, I don't think so. I don't agree with that. No.
I would be shitting my pants. I'd be literally shitting my pants.
And if you imagine like your position as a marketing coordinator or something, but like on the other side, Nike is like the leading of the whole market, right?
They got nothing to lose.
Yeah, they got nothing to lose. They are in the market position where even if they lose market share and market value, which they actually did, I think the next morning after the campaign, Nike was down by about 3% in value.
Yeah.
Right.
But all the way down to the fall, actually.
Yeah, but even though they lost some value in the beginning, I think in the long term it will pay out for them extremely well. And by the time span when they are down a little bit in market share and market value, they are still leading the market by like so much. I think it's 60% over Adidas.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have nothing to lose. And I think they
and
were
everything
also,
to gain.
Yeah, and they were also like super sure that like, okay, we're gonna like maybe lose some dudes and they're gonna like do some protests and stuff. But on the other side, we have like one of the most loyal and stable core customer base.
Yeah.
That we can just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
Wah.
Aw.
I think we should end there. I think we should end there. I think it's a good ending. They should just do it.
Yeah.
Yes, perfect ending. I will leave you guys with this one thought. Halloween, who's going as Kaepernick?
Ooh.
That's gonna be the costume of the year. The costume of the year is the Kaepernick. I'm saying it right now.
Do you think it's going to be a marketing move of the year?
This
Nike?
move? From Nike, yes. I think this will be their biggest thing. But I think, if there was like an award show, I think it will win
So far, it's winning. It's right. I think it's right above Tesla.
Yeah,
like sending a car to the space.
Yeah, don't get me started on Tesla.
Next episode.
I think that'll be the next episode. I think they're in trouble. We'll leave that.
Do you think they're in trouble?
Yes, I think they're in trouble. We can leave that for the
cliffhanger. Classic.
The next episode will be about Tesla and why I think they're in trouble, and it really has to do with the car market right now. But we'll leave you with that. I think this. Yes, I think Nike. This will win them so many Clios and so many, Canes lines and all that kind of shit. Like it's gonna own at the award shows. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think it was a good move, though.
Yeah, me too. So thank you guys for joining me for CoTalks. We'll be back next time. We'll talk about Tesla, maybe, or we'll talk about something else. But I imagine we'll use this show to talk a little bit about marketing, branding, business, digital media, what's going on. Thank you so much for tuning in. and subscribing and leave a review. Just give us a 1-star.
No. Don't give us a 1 star.
Give us a 1-star. Come on, I want to go for the worst podcast
Worst
award.
podcast
Just like,
Worst podcast.
just like if what's that?
The worst podcast.
Yeah, I think it would be so awesome to have
The
just
best
straight
worst
every
podcast?
single.
Yeah.
We didn't understand the system.
Oh,
we thought one
we
star
should-
was the best.
We should call this podcast best of the worst.